Hey everyone, I'm going to share with you today a journey that started not far from here, down the road in Croydon, and it's ended up back here now in Brixton. And on that journey, there's been lots of highs and lows and overcoming adversity from an event that literally shook the world, which has led us to creating what we've created now with my younger brother Paul. And these are the values and principles that we picked up along our travels and we work by now. So back in 2001, my parents took us on a holiday to India, last minute deal on TEDx, if some of you remember that. And they literally, we'd never gone anywhere like that before. Went to school and told everyone we were going on holiday to, for Christmas, and they were like, "Where are you going? Disneyland, Florida?" And we were like, "No, we're going to India." And everyone was like, "What are you doing going to India?" We went on this holiday, and it literally, just captivated our minds, and the culture, the vibrancy, what we saw there, really caught our attention, and we had this incredible holiday along with my brother and sisters. There's 6 of us, so 3 boys, 3 girls, so a big family, and we came back, and after the holiday, we were all still buzzing from this trip we'd been on, and our house was on the market at the time. And our parents had, funnily enough, they had a social enterprise years ago doing fashion shows for schools, for charities, for hospitals, and they'd been doing that for about 8 years, and they were tired of the rat race, and they said there's got to be more to life, and they didn't spend that much time with us because they were always working. So they wanted to do something a little bit different, and they just said to us, "Who fancies moving to India?" And we were kind of like, "Are you for real? This is a little bit out there." And the house went through, and I remember going back into school and telling my head of year that I was moving to India, and he just laughed at me and said, "As if." And then a week later, there we were setting off, and they literally said, "Guys, you've got 1 bag, pick wisely what you want, because you've got to carry it." And we upped sticks, and we left our family home that we'd been in for 20 years, and we just turned up in Mumbai with no plan. We didn't know where we were going to go, what we were going to do. We just turned up, and we just set out on this crazy journey. And there was lots of different tales kind of, from our experiences whilst we were over there. And when we turned up, we didn't have any flights or anything. We wanted to get back down to Goa, which is where we originally went for the holiday. So we ended up hiring a Jeep and doing like a 20-hour drive down the coast, which, if anyone's ever seen the roads of India, they're pretty crazy. And it was an incredible trip, and there was just various trips like that whilst we were over there, and we did that for about 3 or 4 years, and we went to school over there, which again was completely different to what we were used to over here. We did that for about 6 months, and at school over there, they still had the cane, and I remember being naughty once, and they literally put me out in the sun for hours, so I wasn't naughty again. And we did marching in the morning and yoga, and you get 17-year-old girls playing hopscotch, and I was like, we didn't get that in my school in Croydon. And we just picked up loads of different things on our travels, communication skills and all sorts. We had our eyes completely open to the way of the world and what was really out there. And our parents just, they pulled us out of school in India as well, and we used to just travel all around. And their idea of teaching us something was taking us to, I don't know, a fort, a temple, various different things, or even to do our maths, we'd go down the local market and they'd just be like, "Rob, add that up, what's this, what's that?" And just it was a real unorthodox kind of way of bringing us up, but we learnt an awful lot. And naturally, with the free spirit, they decided to take us to Sri Lanka for Christmas. We had one of our sisters, because it was myself and younger brother Paul, and the 2 youngest ones, Matty and Rosie, that were travelling the whole time. The 2 older sisters were back here working, and one of them was coming over for Christmas, so we decided to go to Sri Lanka. And when we went over there, we didn't have a plan. We flew into Colombo, and then we were just going to work our way down the coast, and we visited lots of stunning fishing villages. And on our travels, we'd meet lots of interesting people, and we were we had Christmas Day there. We got finally down to a small fishing village called Welagama for Christmas, and imagine Christmas Day, laughs, board games. We did a bit of surfing. just had a great family day. But the next day was something that, I'm sure you guys are fully aware of, something that literally, shook the world. And the next day we were there, and it was Boxing Day, and it was a tsunami. So we were caught up in that, and we didn't know what it was. We're kind of like, at that time I was 17, my brother was 15, younger brother was 11, and younger sister was 8, and we're kind of, there we are in a third world country, not knowing what's going on. The whole country had just been hit by a massive natural disaster, which, the impact of it was huge. It took 230,000 lives, which gives you, if you look at things like September 11th, a few thousand people, this was a huge event that, hit various countries all across Southeast Asia, and, people from all over the world. So from there, we hitchhiked 200 miles, younger brothers and sisters with no food, no passports, literally just in our shorts and stuff that we woke up in. And we managed to get all the way to the national airport, and then managed to get all the way back home. And we knew that, we had to get home, there'd be safety there. And, our parents were gone, but we kind of had to bat on kind of get back. And from there, kind of, you see like the road to recovery, kind of, what do you do after a situation like that? Do you kind of, give up? Do you kind of pick yourself back up? Myself and brother Paul both went back out traveling. We wanted to continue what our parents started with us, and we went all over the world, from Australia to Thailand to back to India, Laos, kind of all over. And we tried to enjoy our lives and kind of, just kind of absorb and kind of take on board what had happened. And we continued working, and we tried to keep the positive upbringing that our parents installed in us. And that's kind of what led us to the idea of, we were never going to, with the upbringing we have, we were never going to do a typical 9-to-5 job and sat in an office. So we wanted to create something where we could use our unique education, our unique upbringing, the principles that our parents taught us. And randomly, I woke up with a mouth like Gandys flip-flops, a bit of an urban term, but just wondered if anyone had ever made Gandys flip-flops, and nobody ever had. And then rather than sitting there watching reality TV, I'd sit there kind of Googling kind of how to get a product and how to develop this idea further. And it was the perfect opportunity in which we could build something, as I said, based on our beliefs, which is where we came up with the message of Orphans for Orphans. Obviously, the situation we've been in, and we spent years volunteering and traveling around and working with orphans, and our parents always brought us up that there's kids out there always worse than you, and you should never take anything for granted. And there we were then in that situation ourselves. So from our bedroom from Brixton, we wanted to grow this and take this idea further. We literally went out and we were pitching retailers. We were knocking on the doors of boutiques, and we managed to get into some of the biggest retailers in the country. And we literally turned, we were like, we're adamant on our idea, on our vision, what we want to do. We'd just go knock for Philip Green and stand outside and just say, we're not going away until we see Philip Green about our flip-flops. And you've got the receptionist going, he's a billionaire. You can't just knock for a billionaire. And we're like, well, we want to tell him about our flip-flops and our vision and how we want to open a children's home, and we need retailers to help us do this. And we did that with various stores, and we recently launched the movement with World's Best Department Stores. So to kind of do that kind of from last summer out of our bedroom, it's been a crazy ride. And the idea being, we started this kind of, just thinking, we just want to open this children's home in tribute to the upbringing our parents gave us and what we were doing. We want to build a sustainable business. And what we found was, the more and more we got out there, the more and more people were contacting us that were either affected by a tsunami, involved in it somehow. And then we realized to make it, not just a tribute to us, but a tribute to everyone else that was involved. We were there that day, we saw what happened, and and that's kind of, what drives us to do what we're doing. So we came up with the initiative to basically sell 230,000 pairs of our flip-flops to open our first children's home. For Orphans, the message that we carry, as I said, from the situation we've been in, we were fortunate enough to come back to friends, family, support. We know that from where we've been travelling, there's a lot of kids that don't have that, that aren't as fortunate to come back and have good people around them to make sure that they stay on a positive path, and and they've got a home, they've got the medicine, they've got all the things that they need. So we wanted to do something positive, and with what we did last summer, kind of just starting out, we managed to fund a teacher for a community in Goa and all their educational equipment, and now we're kind of on target to open our first children's home as well, and we work with a smaller charity, but we've set up our own foundation as well to work alongside giving back 10% of the profit of our business, because what we found is we've actually started drawing in retailers that are saying we want to donate back to what you're doing as well, and we've got our logistics company saying we want to donate some of the profit from your account as well back into what you're doing as well. We've got people that want to do fundraising, doing events, just because of the message of what we carry. So that's why we started that, and we're hoping that we just started this off recently. And from just an idea, kind of the vision that we had from our bedroom in Brixton, we've just carried it this far, and we're kind of like, well, if we can do that in 1 year, where are we going to be in 10 years? We just want to keep building and growing what we're doing. Some of you might have seen this kind of campaign around on the underground recently, or read about it in some of the papers, and what we've actually had is we've had people contact us. We've had various people just just messages, etc., in general about how they like what we're doing, etc. But we've had people that have actually come across us on our journey as well. That we had one lady that saw us in the airport in Colombo, and she said that she opened up the metro, and literally she was sat there crying because she's always wondered what happened to the 4 kids that were in the airport with no clothes, no nothing. And we've had that with a couple of others. We had someone else that got in contact that heard that some Tsunami kids had started this flip-flop venture, and so he kind of Googled it, and then he saw it in the shops and looked around, and he was the guy that found my little sister in a coconut tree. So we've just been kind of touched by loads of people kind of getting in contact, and one recently, literally this week, was crazy. This guy got in contact, and we kind of thought, he messaged in, and he kind of said he wanted to meet up, and we were kind of like, okay, what does he want to meet up? We've had loads of random people kind of just say, do you want to come round for dinner, or do you want to come round for like a cup of tea? And we're like, okay, cool. But we had this other guy where he was like, okay, do you want to meet up? And we were kind of like, okay, public place. And then we spoke to him a bit more, and then we found out that he had this company in London. He's got employees there, so we'll be okay if we go in there. We should be safe. And we went in there, and we sat there, and we're kind of like, okay, a little bit kind of anxious. What's this all about? And he just started chatting about the tsunami, how he remembered the day, where he was. It's one of those things where everyone remembers a certain day, and he was like, well, I was here, and I was cooking, and then my wife, nudged me and said, come look at the TV, look what's going on, this is crazy. And he just had a newborn baby, so he was debating, was explaining to us how he was debating to go out, because he was like, I've got loads of skills, I know how to run certain operations, and I'm organised, and I can do this, maybe I could go out and I can help. And there's a lot of people that did go out and help. And in the end, because he had a newborn baby, he took a step back, and he decided not to go in the end. But when we came back, our story was never shared in any of the media. It was kind of, it was never shared because of the delicate kind of situation, and it never came out. And when we did come back, we came back to our 21-year-old sister, and we didn't know where we were going to live, what we were going to do. We were in complete bedlam, and like one of the guys that he had working for him at the time had a family friend connected to us, and they told him about this story of these 4 kids that have just come back, and they've got nothing, and they've come back with no clothes, they've come back to their sister's house. It's a really small house, and so he decided to help out, and Him and the other directors of his companies didn't tell any of their staff. I didn't even know about this either until I clarified it with my sister last week. And this guy just decided to help out for no reason, to give us some support. And he's never followed up in terms of what happened to us, and he gave us lots of support in terms of sorting us out clothes, when we came back, bunk beds and all sorts. And he sorted out, he used his solicitors to make sure that we didn't get split up, and put a lot of resources into kind of helping our family out. And we never knew that. And then he got in contact for no reason, not for us to say thank you to him or anything like that, but he just got in contact because he said that he opened up the Metro, he saw us there, and then he's seen that campaign out on the Underground, and he just wanted to call us in just to say that he was proud, and that how things have gone full circle, because sometimes when he's helped people before, and he didn't want to check up on where we were at because he was scared that I saw the house you went back to, the situation you were in, your kids were in a pretty dark place, so I didn't actually ever want to know what happened to you, and I've always gone, shall I get in contact, shall I find out how they're doing? But he was scared to find out. And then he goes, the feeling we gave him when he saw what we're now out doing, and how things have gone full circle, that we're now giving back, and working, and it's taken him, he said he's like 50 now, and it's taken him years to establish that. But the feeling we've given him is better than kind of anything he's ever purchased, materials, or any kind of toy, etc. that he's bought. And now that's something that we're working towards, is that, I want to get that feeling, and so does my brother, where, almost 10 years later, you're seeing somebody that's got up and gone and done something, and hopefully inspiring others and helping others as well. Thank you.